Hi everyone, I want to spend this morning to speak to you. What does it mean at this time to be walking with the Lord? I know for many of us, we are walking this time and we haven't anticipated this time of being isolated, being in lockdown to be so long. But yet, I think that this is a perfect time for us to be walking with the Lord. I think about my day and the way I start my day and the way that I do my devotions is that I love to do my devotions in the morning, because in the morning, I get to hear from God. I get to listen to Him. I get to hear what He has to say to me. And it's the stillness of that I get to hear God's voice. I want to share with you a psalm that I've been reading. It's Psalm chapter 46, verse 10, that perfectly illustrates this. And he says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." And also Psalm chapter 62, verse 5, it says, "For God alone, O my soul, waits in silence, for my hope is from Him." Another perfect illustration in this is in 1 Kings chapter 19, when there's a story of Elijah who's running from the prophet Jezebel. And when he was running from him, he ran to Mount Sinai, and there he heard three different kinds of noises. First, he heard the sound of the wind, and the wind was tremendous, it was huge. At the same time, the Lord was not in the wind. And he heard the sound of the earthquake was huge, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. They heard sound of the fire was tremendous, making a loud sound, but the Lord was not in the fire. But the Lord came after all that in a still small voice. He quieted his heart, and he was able to hear from God. I think about now and the time that we're in, there's a lot of noises around us. There's news about the coronavirus, there's TV shows that you're watching, there's explosions, whatever show that you're watching. And it's crowding out the noises of God. But I want to encourage you at this time that if you would just consider turning all that off, maybe for a couple hours a day, maybe for longer than that, and let the Lord speak to you in this time. As the Lord speaks to you, I know that you're going to hear from God, and you're gonna feel that much more intimate with Him. Perhaps even writing a journal on how you're worshiping God in this time. As you're meditating upon the Lord, I want to encourage you that perhaps think about how the Lord has saved you and what He has saved you from. During Easter, even though we don't get to meet in this time, we're going to do something special for our church. What we're going to do is that we're going to produce testimonies on videos, which you can share with everyone. I want to encourage you to participate in that, because your testimonies will be encouragement to the church. What we're doing is that we're looking for 2 to 3 minutes. It's not going to be long, but just 2 to 3 minutes of video in which we're simply sharing with one another what we've been saved from, what our life is like before we came to know Jesus, and how has Jesus saved us, and what is our life like now. If you don't mind it being shared publicly on YouTube, where we get to share with other people, maybe we can send it out on Easter Sunday and just let people know this is the life of our congregation. If you don't mind that, I know that it's going to be encouragement to others. So if you're willing to participate, send us an email, tell me, call me, respond to us in our church email, or send me an email, and I would love to include your video in this upcoming Easter celebration.